Hello, and welcome back to the Richard Talaferro podcast, where we take a look at career insights and give advice to career changers. This week, I want to talk about something that might just change the way you look at your career, your next chapter, and even your day to day work. Let me start with a name Kevin Harlan. If you're a sports fan, you already know his voice. Harlan is one of the greats, a sports broadcaster who calls some of the biggest games in college basketball, the NBA, and the NFL. If you've ever watched March Madness, you've probably heard his voice. His energy, his delivery, his humor, it's all legendary. This is a guy who can make a cat running across a football field sound exciting. And I'm not joking, he really did do that once. But here's the part that stuck with me. In an interview, Harlan, who's been doing this for decades, was asked about his career. And you think after thousands of games, thousands of miles traveled, and a resume that most broadcasters would only dream of, he'd say something like, "Yeah, I've done it all. I'm proud of what I've accomplished." But that's not what he said. Instead, he said, "My best call is still ahead of me." Now let that sink in for a moment. Here's a guy who's been at the top of his field for years, and yet he's still looking forward. He's still curious about what's possible. He still believes he can get better. And that got me thinking, what if we all adopted that mindset? Imagine waking up every day believing that your best work is still ahead of you, and that no matter what's behind you, the wins, the failures, the transitions, you still have something great to build, to create, and to contribute. That's a really powerful way to move through life. But I also know this. When you're in the middle of a career transition, when change is swirling all around you, when you feel stuck, it can be really hard to see the path forward. It can be hard to believe that something better is waiting for you. And that's why curiosity is so important. Curiosity is what keeps the door open when everything else feels closed. So let me ask you, can you be curious about what's possible? Can you allow yourself to wonder what you might be capable of? Can you trust that there's still more road ahead and that you have the ability to move forward? Because the truth is, possibility doesn't disappear just because you're in a tough season. It just gets a little harder to see. And that's where bravery comes in. Curiosity and bravery go hand in hand. Bravery isn't always about making a massive leap. Sometimes it's about taking one small step toward believing in yourself again. And if you're stuck right now, if you're feeling that you're struggling to see what's next, I want to offer you 3 ways to start reconnecting with that forward momentum. Check in with your why. What's driving you? What's the core reason that makes all of this worth it? If you're feeling lost, go back to the animating force behind your work. Sometimes we lose sight of it, but it's always there and waiting for us to reconnect with it. Lean into your community. Talk to your people, the ones who know you, who believe in you, who see your potential even when you don't. You never know what opportunities, encouragement, or insight might come from those conversations. And unplug and step away. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to stop consuming. Stop scrolling, stop overanalyzing, stop trying to find all the answers on a screen. Get outside, take a walk. Give yourself some space to hear your own voice again. You might be surprised by what comes up when you do. Kevin Harlan believes his best game call is still ahead of him. And I believe your best call, your best work, your best moment, your best opportunity lies ahead of you too. Now, no, you might not be calling the Super Bowl. And no, you probably won't be narrating a cat streaking across a football field. But your particular moment, it's out there and it's waiting for you. All you have to do is stay curious, stay open, and keep moving forward, one small step at a time. So, thanks for spending time with me today. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Send me a message, share this with a friend, or just take a moment to reflect on what's possible for you. Because your story isn't finished, and your best call is still on the way. If you're searching for work that works for you, I invite you to go to richardtaliaferro.com and schedule a complimentary call with me, and let's talk about it. Thanks for listening, and talk to you next week.